Hi everyone and welcome to this webinar from the Workplace Design Project at DairyNZ. I'm Callum Eastwood and I'm a scientist in the team down here at Lincoln. Today we were just going to talk about a pilot of a leadership course that we've recently run with Sha, a leadership and development coach. The course was focused on leadership and emotional intelligence and mostly targeted at 2IC level on dairy farms. We have conducted now 2 intakes of this course and adapted it along the way. And in today's webinar, Sha will give you an overview of what was behind the course and the kind of things that people learned when they were doing the course. Now, just briefly, the aims of the course. It was a 3-month course where we tried to build the participants' awareness of themselves and of others, and to try and build a toolkit of strategies for managing themselves and others, and along the way increase confidence to handle challenging situations and confidence in leadership in the workplace. In general, the course structure, so over 3 months, and it was just kind of point in time learning along the way. So there were 6 peer-to-peer group learning sessions, 3 one-to-one coaching sessions with Sha, some learning via a micro learning app with 5 to 10 minutes per day, and a couple of short assignments. And in general, the participants from both courses that we ran rated it very highly. So you can see some scores here from before and after, particularly around understanding what emotional intelligence is, the confidence to lead others, and some learning around the tools and strategies that they could apply. Also, the course improved the satisfaction and happiness at work amongst participants. So now I want to pass over to Sha to talk through the course and just give you some more insights.
Hi everyone, I'm Sha, and this webinar will give you a quick overview of the Emerging Leaders program. This program was developed specifically to address some of the challenges faced by leaders on dairy farms, and especially those people that are new to leadership or in 2IC positions. In this short presentation, I'll be covering a brief overview of the program and how it could support you or your team to sharpen up their leadership skills and adapt successfully to the challenges they face at work. We'll start with a quick snapshot of the current challenges we face as leaders, and then outline some of the solutions that this program offers. Finally, if you're interested in the details of the course, stick with me to the end where I'll briefly outline an overview of what we provide. There's no doubt about it, as leaders, we're faced with a number of challenges. Many people faced with leading or managing a team are often promoted to this position for 2 main reasons: because of their strong technical skills or their experience on the job. And then they discover that leading people is a whole other ballgame. Added to this, we live and work in what is now known as a VUCA world, where V stands for volatile, U for uncertain, C for complex, and A for ambiguous. COVID-19 is a prime example of what a VUCA world is all about. Unknown, uncertain situations, lots of multi-factors and interconnected parts, a lot of ambiguity and clarity lost, people feeling very unsure of what's going to happen, and a lot of volatility, rapidly changing and unpredictable environment. There are also some important trends that are occurring in our workplaces these days that we need to be aware of, and all of these factors have an influence on the way we lead. The Gallup organisation surveys employees and leaders across all sectors and in many different countries. Their research indicates 4 areas that people look for in their jobs. Firstly, they want to have their basic needs met at work. So they come into a job thinking, what do I get here? And they also want to give back. So the individual contribution of what do I give is sort of the next layer of this pyramid. Next is the teamwork and that feeling of belonging. And finally, people are really looking for growth and wanting to know, how do I grow and learn in this organization or this business? So as a leader, this means there are certain things that you need to provide. And it starts with the basic needs, making sure that their materials and resources and of course wages and salaries are met. Then there's the consideration of individual contribution, ensuring there's clear expectations of the role, that feedback, there's a culture of feedback and of showing appreciation. Next, when it comes to teams, ensuring that the relationships are in place for collaboration. And finally, growth, making sure that there's career progression and opportunities to learn and grow. So in summary, the way that we lead teams into the future world of work is changing, and we're looking at leadership in a new way. We need new skills in leadership now to deal with this new environment. And that's why being smart with your emotions is so critical. Being smart with your emotions means being emotionally intelligent. And I love this quote here: no matter the situation, never let your emotions overpower your intelligence. That pretty much sums up what emotional intelligence is really all about. Because we often forget or take for granted how powerful our emotions are. Emotions affect all the decisions we make. Emotions guide our action. Emotions are contagious. We catch them and we spread them. Emotions are a valuable signal that help us survive and thrive. Being smart with our emotions, or as I mentioned, emotionally intelligent, helps us to lead ourselves and our teams to better outcomes. Human beings are complex, which is what makes leadership and management such a tricky area to navigate. If you look at the iceberg on the left-hand side, you see that just what is on the surface of the iceberg, our customs and our culture, some of the traditions that we have and the way we dress is just the surface of what makes up a person. Underneath there are layers and layers of beliefs and attitudes and perceptions and assumptions that make us all very much unique and special. And we need to understand people really well in order to be able to lead them. So let's just deep dive a little bit more into this concept of emotional intelligence. What is it? Well, very simply, emotional intelligence refers to how you manage, understand, use, and notice the emotions in yourself and others. It really refers to your ability to make your emotions work for you by using them in ways that are productive and produce the results that you want. In essence, you use your emotions to facilitate your performance. The training is divided up in a way that we go through the 4 areas of emotional intelligence in a particular order. It starts with self-awareness. This is understanding your own emotional triggers, your patterns of thought, your behaviors, your strengths and weaknesses, and what's really important to you. Next, we move into self-management, having your emotions in control and the ability to lift yourself out of unproductive emotional patterns. We then move into social awareness. This is understanding and having awareness of emotions in others and perceiving and understanding and acknowledging the way others feel. And finally, we move into social management. There's more around those leadership skills and the ability to manage emotions when you're interacting with others, or even the ability to support others to manage their emotions. Each area builds on the other, so it's important to follow the pathway in the right order. Oftentimes we expect leaders to have a really great way of getting on with others and strong relationship skills, but that's not possible if they have little self-awareness and can't manage their own feelings. So this order is very important. Emotional intelligence not only relates to people, but to actual workplaces and the culture of a workplace as well. Low emotional intelligence workplaces have a culture of blame and complaining. Diverse opinions are not welcome or valued, and there's generally an inability to give or listen to feedback. Another characteristic is a poor communication style, and managers don't listen or they've lost touch with their team's needs and wants. In contrast, workplaces with high emotional intelligence have a very different feel about them. These workplaces have a high level of empathy and compassion, as well as high levels of participation and teamwork. People are able to express views openly and honestly. There's freedom to express creativity and ideas, and they are generally sociable workplaces where feedback is given and received openly. This training focuses on emotional intelligence because being smart with your emotions will help you achieve in so many areas of your life, both at home and at work. As you can see from this diagram here, emotional intelligence has a positive effect on a huge range of important aspects in the workplace. To help you understand emotions, we step back and think about how emotions are created in the first place. This is a slide that participants on the program will get very familiar with, because when we understand how our emotions are created, we can then make better decisions or act in more productive and useful ways. There is a perception that our feelings are generated from our external experience, when in fact our feelings always come from the inside out. We show you how this process works so that you can understand that you're the master of your own emotions. And any situation that comes your way can be handled more productively when you understand how it works. We learn quite a lot about the brain, and while the brain is an amazing machine, it's like a supercomputer, and it's great at doing things like sorting and judging and comparing and analyzing, but it's not very good at processing emotions. In fact, it detects emotions and then creates a story around them to help make sense of it. So to be really smart with your emotions, we teach you not to rely so much on your brain, but to use your head, heart, and gut instincts a lot more. Once you know the power of your emotions and how to manage them in more productive ways, you'll be operating in a space which we call above the line, a winning headspace that's centered on ownership, accountability, and responsibility, as opposed to living in blame, excuses, and denial. Through the course, you'll get the opportunity to reflect on your dominant style of leadership and also consider the advantages of the other styles and how to be a bit more flexible in the way that you approach life as a leader. Change is the only constant. This program supports you to navigate the VUCA world by understanding some key concepts. Firstly, we help you to raise your own self-awareness. You'll start to understand more about yourself, your strengths, your blind spots, your beliefs and values and biases. With self-awareness, a leader is able to put their strengths forward and lean into those abilities. Having a clear understanding of your own abilities and limitations also allows for more effective communication, because a self-aware leader is better able to recognize the impact they have on the people around them. Next, we look at how to create the environment for change through the ability to manage yourself. Self-management refers to how you take control of your emotions and use it in a way that drives positive outcomes. This involves learning in key areas such as maintaining a positive mindset, bouncing back from setbacks, and developing some strategies to help you manage your emotions and take the wisdom from them to help you to move forward. The training then goes into social awareness, and this involves understanding body language and nonverbal cues. It's about understanding others in the team and seeing situations through their perspective. We discuss topics such as empathy and appreciation and how to work with people from diverse backgrounds. And finally, we look at social management. This is when we explore some of the leadership skills such as relationship building, effective feedback, communication, active listening, delegation, and creating collaborative teams. And finally, this training helps participants to really change their mindset and develop some key qualities of effective leadership. One of the most important qualities of effective leadership is the ability to be present. Being present is your natural state, the state before your thinking kicks into action. You're naturally present when you're doing something you love or when you're in nature, for example. Being present allows you to get out of your head and be more available to others, leading to better listening, clearer thinking, and getting you more in touch with your emotions and the signals that they're giving you. Being present also helps you to use, manage, and understand your emotions more effectively. It helps keep you above the line where you're making better choices, seeing possibilities, finding better ways, taking responsibility, seeking solutions, and taking action. Another key skill that you will learn about is active listening. And active listening is listening in a different way. It's listening with both your head and your heart. The course also encourages you to naturally just be more curious. Curiosity is also a natural state, and when you're curious, you open yourself up to learn from others. Being a leader doesn't mean you need to know everything, and being curious about others' perspectives is really helpful, and it's a great mindset in leadership. Another key quality you'll learn about is empathy. Empathy helps leaders see situations from other people's eyes. It helps enhance relationships and creates connections between yourself and others. As the saying goes, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. As a leader, it's important to give people purpose, sell them the bigger picture of why they are doing the work that they're doing, and support them to head in the right direction. There's a little short story about two men building a wall, and a guy comes up to them and he says to the first guy, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And the guy says, "Oh, I'm just putting bricks and mortar together and building a wall." And he says to the second guy, what are you doing?" And the guy says, "I'm building a cathedral that will last 1,000 years." The second guy clearly had a lot more vision and purpose in what he was doing, and you can just imagine the engagement levels between someone who's just building a wall and someone who's building a cathedral that's going to last hundreds of generations. Through the program, participants really begin to understand what it means to empower people to make decisions, and how to coach them to become more independent thinkers. When we solve problems for people who report to us, we really rob them of the chance to do their own thinking. When we let them think for themselves, it expands their brains and gives them the opportunity to be creative. It provides a focus, and puts learning and growth at the center of conversations. There's a large department store in New York City where everybody in the organization is given permission to make decisions. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, you're empowered to be part of the decision-making process, and which results in great high levels of engagement and motivation from the teams. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're listening, advising, directing, motivating, teaching, or coaching. Effective communication is a vital skill for leadership. By becoming a master communicator, you're able to clearly express yourself and therefore lead with greater clarity. Being a communicator is much more than just language ability. I know of some leaders who have English as a second language, but they are great communicators. They listen well, they ask good questions, and they check if others have understood. It's important to create a culture where feedback is valued and encouraged, and this program offers participants the opportunity to get feedback from their colleagues and peers and their manager, a 360 report that really shows them some of the strengths that they bring to their role and some of the areas that they can develop even further. With feedback, it's really important not to encourage group thinking, but to encourage people to have an individual voice so that they feel their opinion is valued. It's important to prepare a safe environment, an environment where it's safe to fail, safe to learn, and safe to speak up. These kinds of environments create trust, openness, and creativity. Because to truly be an effective leader, we need to model the behaviour we want to see in others. So we teach you some of the key skills that will help you to set up your team for success, and then you can get out of their way. So, what's involved in the program? The learning is delivered in multiple ways throughout the duration of the program. We're using a blended learning approach, starting with an app that delivers daily bite-sized chunks of learning, online peer-to-peer workshops, and one-to-one individual coaching that helps participants to really personalise the learning to their current challenges. The program runs over 3 months, which gives plenty of time to learn the concepts, apply them, and change the behaviours to improve leadership skills. We know that our approach works because participants share back with us that the learning app is easy to use and includes short, quick lessons with great topics. They've told us that the online workshops enable the group to connect with each other and ask important questions. And that the coaching offered people a safe space to discuss their individual challenges and get solutions tailored to their needs. A very useful recent addition we've added to the program is a 360 feedback assessment, which gives each person on the course a clear idea of their leadership strengths and areas to improve. This feedback is gathered from their teammates, managers, and others that they work with on a regular basis. We've also built in an assignment to help you deepen the learning. The assignments include a reflection journal plus short quizzes delivered throughout the learning app. Through the 3-month course, you have access to support via WhatsApp, email, and phone. We keep in regular touch with our participants, ensuring they stay engaged and keep learning throughout the program. We are proud and delighted to say that previous participants of this course have given it the thumbs up. Our research shows that the impact of the training shows an increase in all areas of emotional intelligence, leadership confidence, job satisfaction, and even overall well-being. If you're interested in participating in the next cohort of the program, please get in touch for more information. We'd love to support you to improve your leadership capability and the emotional intelligence of yourself or your team.
Thanks very much, Sha, for running us through the Emerging Leaders course. It's been very successful in the 2 cohorts that we've run, and we've piloted it to a point where we think it's a really good initiative for the 2IC emerging leaders in our dairy sector. We'll be looking for ways to run this course in the future, either through Sha or DairyNZ or some other means. But But yeah, get in touch with Sha or with us if you're interested in knowing when future groups run. Thanks for watching.